With the violence that has been caused across the United States this week by federal agents, specifically ICE, it's important to remind everyone of a report that came out towards the end of 2025, and I talked about it at the time. But it told us the caliber of people that ICE has been recruiting and training in just 6 short weeks, by the way, down from 16 weeks, to go out there armed and basically do whatever the hell they want with, as what J.D. Vance called this week, absolute immunity. These are people who, according to officials at the Department of Homeland Security, can, quote, barely read or write. People who barely graduated high school, who can barely read or write. Now, that's not saying that every ICE officer on the street is some slack-jawed idiot who doesn't know how to read, but some of them are. These are people who one official at the Department of Homeland Security said are not even equipped to tie their own shoes. But we give them guns. J.D. Vance wants to give them immunity. And the results are as predictable as you would think. A mother of 3 is dead. 2 people in Portland shot the day after that. The violence is because these people are unqualified, potentially unstable, incredibly stupid, and some of them have pretty intense criminal records, ties to white supremacist groups, and of course ties to other gangs. Let me read you this from that original report, the end of last year, the Daily Mail. One official said they're high school grads who can barely read or write, overweight candidates with doctor's notes saying they're unfit, and even applicants with pending criminal charges. Some recruits showed up with tattoos tied to gangs and white supremacists. One bailed for a court date on a gun charge, and another was arrested for exploding at a bus driver. Sexual harassment accusations emerged, with a source describing to the Daily Mail predatory behavior during training. One official said, quote, even those who identify as former law enforcement, they're not being properly vetted and require basic training. But unfortunately, background checks don't happen until after people start work, one official said, as HR rubber stamps applicants within days. Training has been slashed from 16 weeks to 6, with sit-ups eliminated because recruits couldn't handle them. So we've got people out there on the streets of the United States pointing guns at other people who physically can't even do a sit-up. They may not even be able to read or write. And as this other official says, we're now employing people who are not equipped to tie their own shoelaces. This whole thing is a complete disaster from beginning to end. Again, that was from an official at the Department of Homeland Security that runs ICE. So even the people running it, who are trying to meet this quota that Donald Trump set, 10,000 ICE agents, $50,000 signing bonuses. And yeah, when you offer $50,000 to somebody to go through 6 weeks of training and then get a gun and go out there and do whatever the hell they want, you're going to get a lot of bad people. Now, the officers involved in this week's incidents, of course, were experienced. These were not people that came from this crop of, half-wit losers. But that doesn't excuse anything that they did. In fact, that actually kind of makes it worse, right? But nevertheless, the atrocities we saw just within the last couple days will likely be nothing compared to what we will start seeing once all of these actual dimwits get out there in American streets. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.